Fantasy EFL is back for another game week, and in today's video we'll be going through my game week preview. Before we get into another Fantasy EFL game week preview, please be sure to like and subscribe. The support does not go unnoticed. My mini league code will be in the description for Fantasy EFL, and without any further delay, we're going to get straight into this video with clean sheet odds and my team selection. Beginning with the clean sheet odds, here they are, and Bristol City lead the way. They're at home to Oxford with a 45.5% probability of keeping a clean sheet in Game Week 8. Although their game is on a Sunday, that is a bit disappointing. We've got to wait the whole week for those fantasy points, but we can move on from that. And Doncaster and Stevenage are at the same number at 45.5, at home to Wimbledon, at home to Exeter, respectively. Then there are quite a few teams at 44.4. Pompey at home to Sheffield Wednesday at 3 PM, Wycombe at home to Northampton, MK Dons at home to Accrington. Sanders is injured for that game. Huddersfield at home to Burton, and Cambridge at home to Fleetwood. I really like that Portsmouth game. Portsmouth have kept 3 clean sheets this season, and Sheffield Wednesday have failed to score in 3 games this season. So it is a bit of a mix-up there, a matchup maybe, of a really good defensive team versus a team who aren't very good in front of goal. Below those plethora of teams at 44.4, Bolton at home to Wigan at 43.5. In the derby, 12:30 kick-off. I'm not too sure about defensive plays for a derby. They are fairly unpredictable, and there could be a few goals in that one. At the same number, Walsall at home to Tranmere, 43.5. And below Walsall and Bolton, Sheffield United at 41.7. I wonder if Chris Wilder coming back has boosted their odds a little bit. I mean, they did concede 5 goals last game week. Then our 10th team is Derby, 40.8% probability of keeping a clean sheet. They're at home to Preston on the 3 PM kickoff. Now let me know what you think of those clean sheet odds. Those are the top 10 for this game week in Fantasy EFL. I really do like the look of some of those teams picks wise for my defence picks going into the team selection, and that is what we're going to move on to right now. Now this is what my team looks like going into Game Week 8. Of course it may be altered as we get closer to that deadline, and if you want to keep up to date with my final team selection, it'll be on my Twitter, and that'll be linked in the description. I'm sticking with the 3-2-1 formation, but I have to say the 2-3-1 did come out as the more superior formation in Game Week 7. The midfielder picks did great, and the defensive picks not so much. I have got Lotu Ala in goal, however you pronounce his name, the Doncaster keeper, facing Wimbledon in Game Week 8. As we saw, good clean sheet odds, and 3 clean sheets in 8 games for the keeper. Recently promoted are Doncaster. They are facing another recently promoted side in Wimbledon, who haven't got off to the best of starts in League 1. And there weren't a plethora of good goalkeeper picks this game, so I'm going with the Doncaster keeper and moving on to the back 3. And that starts off with good Stevenage. Their assets will be very popular this game week. They face a very poor Exeter side at home. If we go into the defenders' stats, 65 clearances, 10 tackles, 4 blocks and 3 clean sheets in 7 games. Stevenage have got off to a very good start in League 1, and I don't think many saw that coming. Looking into his recent form, in Game Week 7 an 11-pointer, and in Game Week 5 a 10-pointer, and he even scored in Game Week 7, so obviously he has that attacking threat that defenders usually do not have. And he is my captain at the moment. Picking captaincy for defenders is the go-to for me, and good seems like the best defender in my team. My second defender is Regan Paul of Portsmouth. This is a very under the radar pick in my opinion, only 1.2% selected, and he's averaged around 7 points per game this season. 48 clearances in 5 games means he is the highest scoring clearance defender in the second tier, and he's picked up 3 clean sheets in 5 games for Portsmouth. They are the best defence in the league at the moment, and when they face a very poor Sheffield Wednesday side who are really poor in front of goal, I think having Regan Paul is a no-brainer for me really. But I do think Sheffield Wednesday are better away than they are at home. I think they're boycotting the home games because of ownership reasons. Portsmouth are playing at home against Sheffield Wednesday. That does bring up some concerns, but I think he will be fine for this game week. But if he doesn't get that clean sheet, as we've talked about, he does get a load of clearances. Sanders is out for their very easy game against Accrington Stanley. Back them to keep a clean sheet in that game, but with him out I'm bringing in Offord instead. He is the second best defensive MK Dons player in my opinion. Only 4.4% selected, 51 clearances in 8 games, 12 tackles, 5 blocks and 3 clean sheets. He has been on a run of very poor form. 4 points in Game Week 7, -1 in Game Week 6 and only 1 in Game Week 5. But looking past that really poor run of form, A great fixture in Gameweek 8. Good clean sheet odds as well. And MK Don's defenders will be very highly owned, so going against the crowd could come off very costly. There is my defensive and goalkeeping pick. Let me know what you think of my team so far. And we're going to move on to the midfield with ACD in my team for the third game week running. And that is because he's treated me very well. 10 points in Game Week 7, 13 in Game Week 6. I think I'd be doing him wrong if I were to bring him out my team for their game against Wigan Athletic in Game Week 8. It is a derby game, of course. I think there will be a few goals in it. But he's playing in that 12:30 kickoff, and I think I need a 12:30 player in my team to vice-captain. And ACD is that player for me. Looking at his stats, 8 appearances, 2 goals and 3 assists, 5 interceptions as well. We all love an interception, 13 key passes and 12 shots on target. I don't think I've ever used the vice-captain trick so far in Fantasy EFL. But if ACD does pick up a big haul, I may be using that trick. And moving on to Colwell, home to Bradford, and that is a harder game than some may think. But his ownership is really low for some reason at the moment, 5.2 for one of the best players in League One. 4 goal involvements in 7 games with 14 key passes and 10 shots on target. And he did pick up a really big haul in the last game week, but won with 16 points, 1 assist, 1 goal, 4 key passes and 4 shots on target. I do think Colwell is the best midfielder pick this game week. And moving on to Sargent up front, the first time I'm using him this season. At home to Wrexham, again, fairly easy game for Norwich. And Sargent's got a goal a game this season, 5 appearances, 5 goals, with 4 key passes and 6 shots on target in the process. There weren't many great forward options this game week for me, but I think Sargent will do the business just fine. And my team picks are Portsmouth at home to Sheffield Wednesday, so I am doubling up on the Portsmouth assets. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think you've got to target that Sheffield Wednesday fixture, and this is probably the only time I'm going to use that Portsmouth team pick this season, so I'm not worried about the maximum cap of 5. And I've also got Stevenage at home to Exeter. Again, it's another team who I will be doubling up on. I am not going for any Bristol City assets because of my personal way I like to play the game, but they're definitely very good players. Vitek in goal, McCrory in defence, and even their attacking players, Mekmeti and Scott Twine. And I can see here Twine is the second most owned midfielder for this game week. He is definitely a very good pick for this game week against Oxford at home. But there is my team. Let me know what you think of it. If there are any tweaks you think I should make, be sure to let me know in the comments. As first drafts go, I do think it looks pretty good. Of course, my final team selection will be out on my Twitter, probably before the 12:30s on the Saturday. But that does conclude today's video. If you have enjoyed today's game week preview, please be sure to like and subscribe. And my mini league link and my Twitter will be in the description. Thank you for watching today's video and good luck in Game Week 8.